hacen? Juegan a naipes.
Jugamos tarjetas.
Naipes, cartas. Cartas o naipes. Sí. Bueno, ¿compraron mucho aquí?
No.
Nada. Bueno, hasta la vista. ¿Y Denita qué hace? Estás leyendo, es un grupo que le encanta leer, ¿eh? Bueno, ¿y Alejandra? ¿Qué haces? Nada, Mari Carmen. Oh, qué chica, tan rara. Ay, Demi, Cristina, Daniela. Entonces, Adriana. She is. Muy bien, Catalina. Oh, pobre Brianna, la perezosa del grupo. No. Hola. Buenos días. Chao. Alcoba, sí, con 2 camas. Y entonces hay muchas más cosas que la última vez que son nuevas, ¿no? Muchos libros, revistas, lámparas nuevas. Y estamos muy felices de estar en la casa Sanabria. ¿Bien?
Here we are in San Jose. We spent the night, last night, greeted by La Cucaracha on the bus and in our home. So it was a good welcome. Even the La Cucaracha know we're here. The group is waiting for their for this bus. So we're gathering. It was quite a ride here, a lot of turns, and I'm going to get out of the road now. The schools are in session, so we see the school playing baseball. And some children walking to school. We're getting instructions from Senora for the day. They're here, they're here. We've been counting to 14 a lot. No one's missing. The families are very happy, and they greeted all the children with hugs.
Muy bien. How was your experience?
Diferente.
Diferente? Was it different?
Sí.
How was the breakfast?
Muy bien.
That's good. Normal, regular?
Sí.
That was nice. I'm really glad. I told you that, you know, these people there have experience. They know that not all of you like his rice and beans bang. But you might have to try it. Remember that it's a typical dish of Costa Rica, and you don't want to leave the country without trying the most typical dish that we have here. So, this is what we're doing today. As you know, we're doing a half-day city tour. So half-day means it's a half a day. So that we're expecting to be back here about 11:30. The families already know about that, so that they know that they have to have lunch ready for you. So that's going to be
National Theater. Getting off the bus, Christopher is our guide. We're very proud of their National Theater, and we'll go inside. This is the front of the National Theater. There are many, you may hear some noise from the street vendors, selling whistles, selling pictures, a number of things. Our tour is going to go inside in a minute. Show you the top of the National Theater. So this is our first main stop. We're downtown San Jose.
first visit of a president of the United States to Costa Rica. He got the port in 1960. Okay, so now
A little bit of outside, but we will not be able to take any kind of a cameras inside.
before the earthquake. Now, I'd like you to look at the glasses of the windows. Okay, those, the original glasses were removed because those were extremely valuable. Then these are laser cut glass, which is still valuable, but not as much as the Baccarat crystal. Also, this was one of the first buildings in the world that was lighted with electric light. The bulbs didn't last more than pollution to get the protection of your teeth, but they were going to last for much, much longer. So that's what they did. This one we see is the Allegory to the Dance by Merrill. And this one is the Allegory to the Music by Pietro.
These statues are to music, and the prior one to dance.
Some of the marble roads, some of the types of marble they use in the construction of this figure, you don't find them anymore. So they have a little resolution for alternatives. Actually, the contest, this artist wanted over artists like Rodin, several artists. But do notice that it is missing, the baby is missing 2 fingers and the mother is missing 1 whole finger. Let me tell you why this is. Mr. Bonilla wins the contest, becomes very important, gets offered several contracts, and he decides that at that moment he's gotten enough fame to come back to Costa Rica, establish here, and then we're going to get into the main auditorium. There are lots of
We're still just in the lobby going in. Our guide is describing some of the art and architecture.
Why this was made in the middle of nowhere. Why they didn't want this to be just a place to come and see performances. Remember that a company, a theater company came to Costa Rica. There wasn't really that many people here, maybe in 2 weeks everybody had to see the performance and that would have been the end of it. But also, it was going to be used for special parties, for special celebrations, so that a lot of wedding receptions of important people took place over here. But only certain families were allowed. Even originally, the place where they wanted to get the money from were just from the coffee exports because they wanted just the coffee people to have access to it. Even though today 60% of the people belong to the middle class, at that moment it was not like that. It was you see the floor here? Well, this is one of the only one of the videos in the world that taking less than 250 screws you can take the chairs off. And under the floor has a mechanical system that raises up the floor and sets it up at the level of the stage. Means doing this the whole thing goes up and gets to see the guy over there, and it sets it up at the level of the stage.
He's saying that this whole theater floor will come up to the level of the stage.
For the celebration of the 15-year-old,
The National Theater, the date here, 1897. And I showed you the ceiling floor to tribute to art and music. We're in the balcony, in the private dividers for the groups. He said it would be $250 a ticket to come to the Flamingo Dance, the most famous in the world here, but $20 to hear the National Orchestra. These small windows on the side here, were designed for widows who were not supposed to go out and have fun. But some widows donated money to the theater so they could come in after it started and leave before it was over, so there was no problem.
Also the marble throat.
We're in the reception area of the theater.
Well, basically the molding was what made it more difficult. The only solution they saw back then was that with fixtures, they could make 3D diagrams of in computer, and then they could make new
When this
moldings
was
based on
restored,
the
it was
original
very difficult
pattern.
because frescoes just
The
crumbled.
Ministry of Culture said, give the original pieces out there. You have to use the original pieces. And the solution was to stick everything back together. So they divided every area into small quadrants, and then they have to pick up the pieces and try to get them to match together. They use a combination of marble powder that will change it to the flame, for instance. That one is called
The trim is all 24 karat gold.
this one here is called music. And actually they
Some of the
describe it
marble
as artists,
cannot be found in the world anymore.
Thank you.
The harpsichord here was donated by a family so that their daughter could come in the afternoon at tea time and play. Now every time it is played, it has to be tuned. So look at the men's smoking room. Men and women were not allowed to smoke together. It wasn't proper for women. But above this room were the electric light fixtures. They were the third city in the world, third country in the world to have electricity. New York first, Paris second, and then Costa Rica. So they had electric lights. This is the men's smoking room. And the wood under the window duplicates the marble that we saw in the other room. And the fresco on the ceiling, it's beautiful. The cafe in the theater. And some people enjoying their coffee. We're at the National Museum. It was very close to the theater. And so we are going to go in. There's a lot of pre-Columbian art, some of the best in the world. Museum National de Costa Rica. So the kids are entering up from the top. From the steps of the National Museum, you see the mountains and the city of San Jose. And the Patio, just beyond the park. We're in the courtyard. We're going to see some of the spheres that they found in Costa Rica. The spheres are still a mystery to the world of what they use them for. This is a kiln, like they would have used for creating the pottery. And we see one of the carts that is quite a craft that we will see again in Sarchi.
So this was going to be also the covering of your home back here.
This is the native Indian in height and features.
Horse on the way without dismembering their body. Just
This
a brace like the one that you
is
see
the
over there. And they use this to
location of
cover.
stars in the heavens.
You know,
They're
the way
still
that they
studying
hit
this.
the gold and the jade was making a hole in the side to put the gold there
and they got small pieces, and they started to push them against each other so that it became an invisible wall nobody could find in the grave.
This shows the conquest of the Spaniards over the indigenous people. They don't celebrate Columbus Day anymore, but they celebrate ethnical diversity. There was no gold that was natural to this area, but was probably traded. Now I better find the group. This is more of the courtyard.
And then you track the stems and they're already squeezed. And that was the fuel for this machine. Then sugar is refined with chemicals. They use limestone and sulfuric acid. In order
showing
that,
how the
what
sugar cane is
the
refined.
moment that's boiling, it crystallizes it. So it forms big crystals of white sugar. 50% of those chemicals form the brown sugar, and no chemical is. I wanted to tell you is that this is exactly the same type of yoke that was used in France, but they used it in the neck.
The lush plants. It was 90 degrees when we went.
Es una parada de café. Oh, y de Chris allá, el día del tour que está, sí. Él está allá con Alejandra. Sí. Qué bueno, fotos muy buenas. Hola Chris, hay video aquí, muy bien, Danita, Alejandra. Muy bien, es cafetera, que quiere decir coffee range, coffee plantation. En el campo, en Alajuela, es una parada de café, una tiendita, y están explicando cosas de café, ¿no?
¿Está bien?
Está bien.
We're up the mountain going to Juarez. This is the cart farmer. Just a small stop on the way up to Juarez. We are surrounded by mountains. And there's a coffee plantation here. And there's a tour.
¿Por qué decía eso?
Cuando baila, camina, no puedo parar. Esa mujer me va a matar.
Not for
Ya
us.
está. Dando el tarife para entrar, ¿no? Chris está pagando todo del tour. Hay muchos tours. están
I have a
boas.
little voice for
Y después de estacionar tenemos que caminar mucho. Ya, todo.
We are off the bus and entering the entrance to the volcano. The plant that you see is called the poor man's umbrella.
Let's go later.
So we're going to hike through the crater. Go ahead, walk up there, Kate. There's many plants and a very long climb that we have. There's a leader from another volcano, Poas. We walked about a third of a mile, and this is called the Forest of Clouds, because we don't see. Oh, it is clearing. As we speak, we couldn't see it a minute ago. The clouds are moving, so we have a little minute to see this.
Fumes there.
Oh, okay. The fumes are the most acidic chemicals mixture in the world. You can see how far down. We're not allowed to ascend or descend because of the danger of the fumes. Been covered up again. So I'll just take a little panoramic view of what we can see here.
You never know.
And if it clears again, we'll get it on camera. It's clearing a little bit again. So as the clouds move and the fumes,
We're coming. Go, go, go.
Will you take a picture?
Really clear.
seconds.
I got it. You got it?
¿Esta?
This is not an active volcano.
Made a noise.
Yeah, it went.
This one right
¿Tú
here.
ya está? ¿Y quién es esta?
All you gotta
¿Tuya?
do is make the
¿Dónde
circle
está
match.
Flash? O Price.
Make these circles match with the background. Why? It's not.
Okay.
I don't care what anybody says. It's not true. There's like a circle.
Let's see which ones get.
We're all good.
I hope it turns out.
So,
I wish our group was right below me. I'd zoom them in.
the cheap looking one is mine.
Someone.
Mine.
This one, George.
Did somebody else have a yellow?
Nicole, here.
Aaron, ¿esta es la tuya?
Give this to Nicole.
Oh, I think that wasn't mine that she took it with.
No, I took all of them.
You can see the fumes coming out of the side
And I have to scream
of the
at them.
cliff.
Yeah.
And out of the lake of acid. See,
I'm going back down to the center, okay?
all right, see you in a minute.
On the first, so don't look at me.
All right. Señora's going to go down to the center.
Hey girls, turn around.
I'm falling.
Wait, you don't fit.
Back up. Back up. Back up.
This is the group we're at, boys. Some went down already with Señora.
2, 3.
Lechería a la... Lechería es la palabra en español para dairy farm.
The dairy farm.
If you can reach
cemetery.
Oh, that's a church.
Soccer field and
We're coming to what they call the religious bridge. It is very narrow. This is where everybody is very quiet and we pray and muy bien tío.
Yeah, we made it.
Sorry.
This is halfway up the mountain. Or on our way down though. Amy. Beautiful flowers.
They look pretty, huh?
Oh, let's say hi, girls. We're starting with a fruit drink of different guava and passion fruit. Put in. Tell them to say hola. Hola. Salute with your glasses. Salute. Jenny and Bree, Danny. Salute. Anita. Salute. Señora, want to say something about this?
oh, son las máscaras y lo que está en el centro es del Día de los Muertos. Miren las flores tan bonitas que hay.
Ay, okay. This is a paradise. With this?
Típica en el campo, en el camino hasta Coas, cerca del restaurante.
This is the Iron Church. They paint it every 2 years. They don't have a service when it rains because it's just too noisy. This is a park next to the church. There's some school children. They all have uniforms. Right. Here's a shelter. I'll zoom in. The Iron Church. Inside. The park outside the Iron Church. side of the church, and the flowers are gorgeous. The hydrangea.
Hola.
O algo a todos.
So,
Look up.
did you go into the church? Was it open or closed?
Sí, muy bonita.
You felt guilty? Why?
A little tired here.
No, it is not disrespectful
And
to take pictures
Senora.
into the church.
There's a big thing of Jesus in there.
There might be just two from writing.
Maybe a reading bus. Yeah. So it's beautiful.
They're painting the ox carts. She's doing stenciling. And he is doing some detail. He's doing the wheel in birds that are native to Costa Rica. There's another design of parrots. We'll go down to this one. Put the same thing on trays. Sorry about that. We're going to rotate to here. A toucan. And fish. And this design.
Rafael? Es San Rafael, ¿no?
Oh, look at that little dog.
Sí, sí.
Will you take a picture of us in that little...
Fotos.
Sí,
señora,
fotos, por favor, sí.
Está bien, muy bien. I think it would be nice if we took a group picture right there before we leave.
Yeah, well,
Before we leave.
Yeah.
When we get it.
okay, we'll go.
Está bien. ¿No? Fotos para todas.
Parque. Trenes.
You know, because it's like...
Señorita y señora.
Esta estatua hay un letrero que dice homenaje de las escuelas al sabio ramonense Alberto Manuel Brenes, que es nombre de la madre de nuestra casa, descubridor en Costa Rica del árbol chinchona, cubenses y centenares de plantas de nuestros bosques.
Ando.
Es la iglesia de San Ramón. Ya se fue adentro algunas de las chicas del grupo, ¿eh? Hace mucho sol hoy y vamos a Tabacón. Está en el camino hasta Tabacón. Ya, muy bonito.
When I enter the church, 87% of our Costa Rica is Catholic.
Esta iglesia es muy típica de esta área y es la iglesia de San Ramón. Estamos adentro y hay muchas ventanas muy decorativas. Gente orando y estaba consagrada en el 1965. letrero dice, te damos gracias, Señor, por darnos al Padre Elías Quesada para restaurar nuestra fe, nuestro templo y nuestras tradiciones. Un pueblo agradecido, San Ramón, noviembre 1999. Quiere decir, we thank you, Lord, giving us Padre Elías Quesada to restore our faith, our temple, and our traditions. Thank you, November 1999.
A Toyota y Costa Rica.
La tienda se llama Bustani. San Ramón, ¿es una panadería o pastelería? Aquí hay muchos tipos de pan dulces, bolillos, pan francés, pan ajo, pan empanadas y enchiladas. Aquí tenemos en el escaparate pan cebolla, se dice aquí, que necesita pan ajo, garlic, onion, garlic, cangrejo para decir croissant, hay cangrejo relleno, bill, muffin, maíz, abajo, lower, palito de queso, enchiladas, empanadas y por fin suspiros, meringues. Mira allá donde trabajan, señora, look over there where they're working, they just put out the fresh bread. Bolillos frescos como comimos cada día para el
Hola.
Bueno. En este sitio se venden cosas para la lotería y chances, vino y pipiolo, se dice el lugar. Entonces al lado hay mercado, señor, mercado, a la derecha. Mercado con fruta fresca, legumbres, de todo. Todo está al aire libre. Ya, ok. No tengo ninguna idea de lo que son papas, cebollas, chayote, es chayote.
Sí.
¿Y al lado? Estas se llaman peivalles y la señora de la casa va a prepararlas para nosotros por una cena porque ayer vimos peivalles en el supermercado y no sabíamos qué eran. Bueno, hay avocados, mangos, chiles
Papaya.
dulces, papaya, sí, sandía, watermelon, papas, tomates, de todo. Bien. Yeah.
Both of them.
That's the long one.
Hola.
Muy buenos.
Now make some motion. Wave, silly faces. I'm having fun. See.
Why? We had everything. Why does he take a long time to do it at the house? You don't need an experience traveling.
Cars on both sides. Roads are very narrow.
¿Listas? ¿Sí? Una vez juntas. Y entonces primero este lado y entonces este lado. El gallo. Yo soy el poeta. Soy el más querido. The stream coming up too when we go across.
Okay.
Yeah.
Listos, tío. Gracias.
Gracias, tío.
Fill out the back up here.
Okay.
of this area is San Lorenzo. And I was saying that the bird that we saw was northern jacana. Now, when you see one of those birds alone, you must know that that is the female. The female is the one that goes out and look for the food, and the male stays at home and takes care of the male is the one that weaves the nest, and then the female gets in if she likes it. She'll stay with them. Otherwise, she'll go and look for it on the right side. Excuse me, it's a turkey vulture.
Oh, there.
Oh, there it is.
Mi mano izquierda, una cancha de fútbol. Fútbol es la palabra que usamos. Los niños que van a escuela primaria, el uniforme, ustedes lo ven, es color. Los que van al colegio, que es lo que es como le decimos nosotros al junior high y el high school, ellos van con camisa celeste y pantalón azul.
Parece casi igual.
No, ese es el río San Carlos y ayer llovió mucho, por eso es que tiene este color café. Normalmente el río es color celeste. Es un color como azul. Temperature of the hot springs up to 300 Fahrenheit. Also, there was a lot of seismic activity around the inner cone of the volcano, but the most evident sign was that 12 hours before the big eruption of 1968, the volcano produced an earthquake of 8 degree in Richter scale. So the people that used to live in a village where today lava flows down to, they were evacuated, but 76 people decided to stay there to take care of their things. That's why exactly 76 people were the ones who were killed during this terrible eruption. At the moment that the volcano erupted, first thing that came out of it was like a cloud of hot burning air that destroyed everything down the hill. Then that same cloud of air was sucked back to the top of it, and immediately after, the magma came out and turned into lava and started to destroy, kill, burn. Everything was down the hill. Since then, the volcano has not stopped doing its eruptions. They say that the average time between each one of the eruptions is every 2 hours. Though it's difficult with the averages of nature. Sometimes it's been producing them every 15 minutes, as well as sometimes some days can be like 2 weeks without any eruption. So with vegetation. So Theo is going to drive around it and he's going to take us to the other side, which is where the lava flows out to. The name of this tree on the left is, el nombre de este árbol a la izquierda es
No sé.
Flamboyant,
Mamboyan.
Malinche
Oh,
o Ponciana Real. But it's just that, as I told you at the top of it, he was getting a pill at the pharmacy. He has a problem with the tooth.
Oh, and the cab is stopping, so I can get the stuff. Cab.
con
Oh, the cab company that we can trust. Costa Rica, the red cab with the triangle.
How far do we go up? We don't go up until the closest you can get to it is Tamacota.
We've been driving all morning to approach Arenal. We're going to go to the closest point that you can reach, Topacon, and then have our lunch. up to the mountain. Would you like to say something?
Ya estamos en Tabacón, el resorte tan bueno, que lindísimo. Y enfrente de Tabacón está Arenal, el volcán activo, más activo de Costa Rica. Ya son las 2 de la tarde, es como de 90 grados aquí. Ya muy caliente para todas, ¿no? Y a las chicas les encanta. Ya vamos. Esto es el más caliente que hay. Hace mucho calor en esto. This is one of the hottest parts right here.
25 degrees centigrade. And we have a beautiful lipstick plant. All along the base.
They're aerated roots where they grow above the ground because of the moisture.
They're in the pool that's 40 degrees centigrade and it is very, very hot. All right.
Voy a decirlo en inglés para que todos comprenden. Es que estos árboles, these trees have aerated roots. Because of the temperature here and the humidity in the air, the roots grow like this. And it's like this in the rainforest as well. The pools in this area are very, very hot. Plantas más cercas se llaman en inglés crotons. Son muy costosos en los Estados Unidos, pero aquí hay muchos. Ya hay mucho viento, sale el sol y el aire ya es más fresco. No sé cómo se llaman las flores más allá, pero son de color rojo anaranjado, ¿no? Muy lindos.
A little thatched rest stop. Again, surrounded by this beautiful color. There's a hive of some sort, so I can't recognize what kind, but
No son muy lindos, pero ya allá hay pájaros de paraíso. Your birds of paradise flowers, do you see them? Those are old ones that aren't. No son muy lindas ya, pero las flores que ya están adentro de color más o menos rojo son pájaros del paraíso, birds of paradise.
these are not temperatures vary from 30 degrees centigrade to 40 degrees centigrade. It's an unusual plant right here. If I move away, this is the camouflage. Move in again. See if he's going to move. It's like the size of a little chameleon, but look at those details. Say something? Hola, señoritas.
Hello, we're having a great time here. It's gorgeous.
We are here for...
in the middle of the jungle bathing in mineral water pools. Can't get better than this.
Unless Tarzan would come by. That pool under the hut, under this Spanish tiled roof, is a pool that says Hace Frio. I'm going to focus on the flowers and we'll listen to the birds of the forest. We have a botanist as a tour guide, and students interested in botany, so they'll have to help us identify all the flora.
Nace sol en el volcán Arenal. Momentito, ya más nubes. Now the clouds are going down again.
Getting it.
See it?
Yes.
Necesito.
Every morning we're meeting at the fire station.
Actually, that's not too far off.
We come down the street. There's one of the groups.
I remember at the airport, you.
There's some of our students gathering.
Who's that?
I don't see street signs. They go by landmarks and directions, but down one of the streets, another view from the fire station in these mountains. Hola! Here's a playground where we've seen basketball and soccer. We found San Jose.
See?
Last night? Huh? Last night?
The long story. Hola, luego. Cortan bien.
We're at a hotel picking up some more people for our tour to the island today. What a wonderful place. Beautiful view. They're loading the Mantarraya. We've arrived in Costa, and we'll soon be going to the island. No, they did not put Merrill in the jail. We are waiting to board the boat. Our captain getting things ready.
Next one, please. Who's up with this? Next one, please. ¿Cuánto enviaste?
We're on the boat, going to the island. I'll just scan what we see, which is in this gulf, mountains on 3 sides.
had a photo shoot. Take pictures. It has the spot brand for people that are running. I'm joking. Hola!
Hola. Hola, Merrill.
We're here and you're not.
So we're headed towards the island of Tortuga. Salud! We are here on the boat, of course. We are being served fresh food and all non-alcoholic beverages are included. Hot to drink, which is very good. Typical
Water rights mostly now about 50 families that live on the island, obviously on fishing and poultry, domestic animals, among other things. We don't even have electricity. These two islands here to the left, they're not inhabited. They are administered by the National Park System as Negritos Islands, or little black islands, biological material. Right further is mainland, it's the peninsula of Victoria. Cuba, and then we're going to continue through that canal that separates mainland from the islands, also the Gulf, the bottom of the Pacific Ocean, and our way to
fit through here. We're getting ready to get off at the island. We'll spend 4 hours just enjoying the beaches. Island for 2. This is Chris, our energetic tour guide.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Thank you. Now it's perfect.
he's resting because we tired him out last night.
That's probably true. Fair done.
Gracias, Chris. Tourist guide extraordinaire. We'll get a shot of the catamaran that we came in right there. I'll focus in a little bit. Over 70 people, and it wasn't crowded at all.
Gotta get over there.
The sun is very, extremely hot. And we have kids being kids. I'll show you in a minute. There's some of our kids in the ocean. The water is green and blue and beautiful. It's very warm. More view from this beautiful Tortuga beach. He does. He's got his head tucked under his wings. I'm going to go up Palm.
Or something.
We just had lunch, and so the birds come in.
In 1991, for many reasons.
Wave, Jess. Wave, Jen. Wave, Danny. We're saying goodbye to that beautiful island that we were on.
Hola, muy bien.
Estamos haciendo una repostería para un grupo de personas que estudian una maestría en administración de negocios. Y nosotros les preparamos los viernes y los sábados un café con repostería que hacemos en la casa. Y en este momento estoy preparando este producto, se llama prusiano, es dulce, lo hacemos con pasta de hojaldre, que es la 1000 hojas, y lleva un relleno de merengue.
Qué sabrosa. Sí, qué pena es para vivir en esta casa. ¿De veras? Bueno, ¿y por cuántas personas, Ana?
Son 80 personas.
Ay, de mí.
Son 3 grupos, 2 de 25 y 1 de 30.
Muchísimas gracias.
Con mucho gusto.
Y aquí tenemos la estrella de la casa, ¿eh? El chef superior, que se llama Luis. ¿Qué preparas?
Bueno, estoy preparando... pues si lo oyen un sordo en Estados Unidos, estoy preparando, se llaman rollos de queso y jamón.
Muy rico.
Es preparada con pasta de hojaldre, se extiende y luego se coloca el queso y el jamón y se arrolla en esta forma. Posteriormente se toman medidas para hacer los cortes de los rollitos individualmente, en esta forma que ustedes están viendo.
Es perfeccionista también.
Es un trabajo de panadería con ingeniería.
¿Cómo no? Así es, todo el día.
Bueno, posteriormente se le hace una incisión en la parte superior. Para
como
que
la
queden,
surgía, ¿sí?
como quedan esos que ya están preparados.
Sí, aquí.
Lleva un tiempo de cocción, ay huepuches, de aproximadamente de media hora.
¿Y a qué hora te levantaste para preparar todo, señor?
Bueno, para poder preparar esto y llevar a pasear a las profesoras, tuve que levantarme a las 4 de la mañana. 4 in the morning.
Sí, sí.
Todos los días, por eso yo estoy muy...
Sí, cómo no.
Bueno.
Y siempre los visitantes a esta casa comen muy bien. Demasiado bien.
Bueno, esto se monta sobre una lámina de aluminio que llamamos una plancha para cocinarlo. Esto está previamente engrasado para que la repostería no se
quema.
No se pegue. Hay que estar siempre atento a revisar. Bueno, ya. Entonces, fin.
Ya estamos en la sala de la casa que Ana ha decorado. Sí. Y muy cerca afuera, al otro lado de la ventana, no hay mucho espacio y entonces llegamos a la calle muy pronto, ¿eh? Y esa mesa es la mesa en que nos desayunamos cada día. Y al otro lado es la lavandería de la casa. Tenemos nuestro baño muy pequeño, pero todo lo que necesitamos, ¿no? Ya. Con ducha a veces frío. Ya estamos en el tour de Café Brett y ayer descubrimos estas flores que aquí en Costa Rica se llaman la reina de la noche. De aquí se usa esta para belladonna y también hay hibiscus, ¿sí? Estamos en el tour de Brett, como a las 9 de la mañana. Paseamos por San José y ya estamos esperando otros grupos también. El aire aquí es muy agradable. Nos disfrutamos de todo lo que hay. Compramos mucho café hoy aquí, ¿sí? Se dice café Brett, que es el café que se exporta mucho a los Estados Unidos. Todavía estamos en Brett y qué vistas hay alrededor. Muchas plantas, las montañas al fondo. Muy bonito, lindo se dice. Aquí tenemos seedlings que se llaman semilleros del café. Ya están en estas cosas aquí. Oh, mira, ¿quién está? No se puede decir aló.
Hola, buenos días.
Muy formal hoy.
We're at the coffee plantation. Getting a little of the scenery in the garden.
Like the type of soil has to be volcanic soil, and we have volcanoes here, of course. We have the Poás volcano in that direction, and at the other side we have the Barba volcano. Okay, volcanoes are very, very important for us.
¿Ellos que hablan español, hablan allá? I speak English a little bit, hi.
Hola.
There is a little problem because, excuse me, es que this is the Barba volcano. The Poás volcano is in that direction, Alajuela. I know that, I live here.
Okay.
No, pero que usted es la nueva aquí.
Yes, I'm new here. I've been here 2 days at the office.
Okay. We sent direct then.
And I'm from Limón, from the Atlantic.
¿Cómo le fue a usted?
Can you do me a favor? His name is Fasi. He works here. He knows a lot about coffee and volcanoes. He's gonna be your guy.
No. No, vea. ¡Vos! Vea, pasó, dice que yo tengo que llevarlos allá. No, pero Juan y mí. No, yo voy a llamar a Juan allá. No, I call Juan. Sí, Juan. No, vea, in English, follow me, don't worry, follow me.
I think
Mira, mi amor, ¿por qué no debería tenerse ahí? Porque no se reprima usted. Ni digo yo. Vea, acérquense cerquita. ¿Cómo se
Closer.
Closer and close, ma'am.
No, closer. No. Closer es para los
Bueno,
más.
vea, there is a little problem. Juan right now is not here.
No.
It's his coffee break.
Yeah.
But don't worry, he comes.
No, but I help you in the meantime.
Bueno, she speaks English. She is Marielitos.
Hello.
Marielitos is like a little Maria.
Sí, sí. Yeah, I'm Jose's girlfriend and we work here, so maybe we can... Como que no.
Yes. Let's talk about coffee better.
Bueno, está bien. ¿Ah?
Sí.
Sí. The first one is the type of plant. It must be Arabica.
Sí.
Have you heard of Arabica coffee?
Sí.
No. So that's the best plant.
The best plant in the world. Sí. Bueno, in the world there are other species of coffee. The name is Robusta. But it's like a tree, but Arabica is the best one because the Arabica has this sweetest taste, better quality bean, sí, less caffeine, sí, less caffeine, sí, and it's better paid in the international market. For that is very important.
That's why here we grow Arabica by law,
Sí.
see, because we're a small country,
Sí.
so we have to produce quality instead of quantity.
Oh, sí.
That's why we grow
Sí,
it.
no, but you know, it's very important the altitude. See, that's true.
The altitude, yes.
See, altitude is very important.
Yeah, the best Arabica grows with, well, yeah, very 50 to 100 feet,
Sí.
like a mile high. Maybe you've heard of high mountain grown coffee.
In the commercial, yeah. Ah, well, that's it. Yes. Juan Valdez, you know Juan. Yeah, it's my cousin. Yeah, my cousin. No, yes, you know my father come here.
I know. So, the good thing about the high mountain grown coffee is that the beans are very hard.
Sí.
And that's important because they won't break in the oven.
Sí.
The heat, like lower grown coffee, it explodes. And at the end it has a bitter taste
Sí.
because it burns. But that won't happen with a high mountain grown coffee. That's why the experts call it SHB.
Sí.
It means strictly hard
Ah,
beans.
sí. No, but you know there are other important conditions to have a good coffee. Is the volcanic soils, yeah?
Sí.
Because they have a lot of
Minerals.
Minerals, right? They have. Let me show you. Voy a enseñarle para que have, mire, potassium, mire, calcium, magnesium, sodium, phosphorus, ¿verdad? And they are more loose, ¿verdad? You see? More loose. Mire, which, look at that. They are more loose. Mire, which easily, ¿verdad? And grow stronger later, see? Like my honey.
Yeah. Also, these soils are good because they drain the water better.
Sí.
And here in Costa Rica, we get a lot of rain. See? It's like 120 inches of rain every year.
Oh.
Yeah, but with this type of soils, the roots won't get rotten because it absorbs better.
Here in Costa Rica, we only have 2 seasons, right? But the wet season and the dry season. Right? During our wet season, we have rain and rain and rain. Right? And during our dry season, we have rain, but less. Right? No, yes, but normally during our wet season, the coffee fruits grow. Grow and turns green. Here, you see, and turns green. You see. And later during our summer is when they turns red. It's ripe. You see?
Yeah, so you see the coffee needs a tropical weather.
Oh, sí.
A lot of rain
Sí,
and a lot
a
of
good
sun.
balance of sun and rain, ¿verdad? But well, the most important thing, right, is that here in Costa Rica we only pick coffee by hand. You see? For example, with this basket, we call it cajuela. Cajuela in English, ¿cómo se dice?
Basket. Yeah.
Bueno, sí.
Yeah, the basket weighs 25 pounds when it's full of coffee.
Sí.
But after all the process, this will be just 5 pounds.
Sí, sí, of roasted coffee, sí.
Yeah, and we pick it by hand because not all the fruits ripen at the same time.
Ah, yeah,
That's like the little problem with coffee.
See, but in the same branch, for example, you can find the green beans, the red ones, like we call it in English,
Cherry.
Cherries, see? And the black ones. You know,
No,
the
yeah,
black
no.
one is the overripe ones, right? But we don't mix them because if you mix the coffee, the result at the end will be a bitter taste. See, and a coffee knows so bitter.
Yeah, so what we do is that we visit the field several times during the harvest. See, from November to February, that's our harvest.
See?
We go like 5 times.
Even 6 times right, during the harvest, picking only the red ones right, by hand, right, 8 hours a day, back and forth. It's a lot of work. A lot of work to be coffee.
Yeah, but the good thing is that they pay us per basket.
See?
So the more baskets you make, more money.
Well, it depends because the average for a good coffee picker is to make like,
Like 15, 20 baskets
No.
in a day.
¿Cuántas? Se le va a
¿Cuántas?
ocurrir el nombre si acaso 5. It's like a 5 baskets in 8 hours, more or less.
That's the average for a bad coffee pick.
No.
Some people even make more than
But
20 baskets.
A little bit more, not too
Some
much.
people make a lot less.
Well, depends. No.
How many you make?
No.
¿Cuántas hace usted? No, díganlo.
Let's talk about other things.
No.
No, bueno, okay.
Le da vergüenza, ¿verdad?
No, I make only 2 baskets. No, bro. No, come on, sir. Okay. Don't swallow and don't buy the seeds. No.
Vaya, yo ahí vi una, vaya, búsquela.
Why me?
Ay, José, parece. We're gonna look for a bigger fruit to show
Always
you
is
the
the same.
Ay, ya vaya y deje.
Ma'am, do you want to learn how we pick coffee? Yeah, come on. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, come on. Let's go. Where are you from, ma'am?
Milk. First, they have to put everything in big water tanks.
Sí.
See, because the good fruits are heavier, so they sink.
Oh, sí.
The bad ones float on top. That's called coffee foam or
Sí.
floaters. It's a very low-grade coffee. We take it apart and sell it to United States or.
No, only to Wisconsin.
Then we take the ones that sink and we put them in a machine called chancadora.
Ah, sí.
That peels the red part.
I see this chancadora, you see peeling that way, you see.
Ya, cuidado se apea y squeezes the fruit. Ya no la desperdicio. Ya. Okay, then we find the mucilage. This is the sweet juice that some of you taste.
It's the laxative.
And we remove this with water. We wash them. And
One
then,
by one.
And then we throw them on big patios to dry them with the sun.
Ah, sí.
See, that's very important. It's called patio drying.
Sí.
And the result, it's another layer that we call parchment.
Sí.
With this layer on, we can store coffee fresh for a year.
Sí.
See? That's why we can roast coffee all year,
Sí.
even though we pick it only 3 months.
Sí.
Also, we can plant it. This is the seed
Sí.
with the parchment on it. But if we have to roast it, we peel it.
Sí.
And at the end, we get the 2 beans, estos, ready to roast.
Sí.
This is only 20% what we roast. This is the 80%.
Sí, the 80%. Here in Costa Rica, by law, we need to recycle this. Right? For example, the red skin, we mix them with the chicken shit, and then we use it like an organic
How you say the chicken fertilizer?
Chicken poo-poo. Fertilizer.
Fertilizer.
Chicken fertilizer. Bueno, we mix them with this chicken fertilizer, and we use it like an organic fertilizer.
Yeah, because it has a lot of nitrogen, it's important, and has a bacteria that controls nematodes.
See, these worms eat the roots of the plant, right? And have a lot of nitrogen. Nitrogen is very important to the coffee field. For that, we plant these trees around here. Right? See, we call it in English.
No, poro igual.
Bueno, poro, ¿verdad? P-O-R-O, ¿verdad? Poro. They give shade ¿verdad? En nitrogen to the coffee field, ¿verdad? And more nitrogen, more beans per branch. This is very, you feel the nitrogen? This is very, very important.
Well, now we can go and show you how we plant coffee. We have nursery beds, ¿verdad? ¿Por qué no nos llevamos?
Okay, okay, and if you want, you can take some seeds if you want to grow coffee in your house. Okay, now, let's go. Follow me, don't worry.
The banana plant. Green.
In pairs. So whenever you see a coffee bush, it's actually two growing together. Do you know what that is for? Why we plant in couples? Huh?
To have companionship.
Ah, like male and female?
You say romantic planting.
Yeah, well, that might be, but not with coffee.
No.
Now, the coffee flower is a complete flower. It's hermaphrodite. So it can do the little job by itself, you see? We plant in couples just to produce more coffee in less space.
See?
This is what makes Costa Rica the first producer of coffee per acre in the world. Just growing coffee like this.
See, intelligent, yeah? See, what's my idea?
I'm talking about coffee plants. Which ones do you plant here? I'm sure there's different varieties.
Yeah.
Oh, see.
Well, in this coffee field, we have like 12 different varieties. That's because it's experimental. Get better in some other place. And that's why you change varieties. And some are stronger against diseases. So that's another.
How many varieties are there?
When the plant is 2 years old, they can put it in the field, but it's still too young to pick the bean. The bean can drop, but if they pick it by hand, it destroys the plant. So it might be 4 to 5 years before they get a coffee bean that they can pick by hand.
Arabica, yeah. Actually, we have a video. For heavy, it feels them. Yeah, you can hear like little pedals falling down. Yeah, I know you can tell. And then we try to break one with a fingernail. High mountain grown coffee is supposed to be very hard. You see, and the harder the bean, the better, so you cannot break it. Yeah, you see. Well, this is plastic, but it works. And well, finally, you got to smell coffee to find out if it's fresh. To do that, we have a special technique though, so watch first.
Yes, he's not kidding. That's how they smell.
Okay, go ahead.
Say like that.
Yeah, when I roast the coffee is fresh, it smells like hay. It smells green, doesn't smell like coffee. And we approve this, we roast it. Now please take your trays with the roasted sample. You see, after the roasting process, they still have the same color. And that's perfect, it means even roast. But if you grab a handful now, what's the difference? Much lighter. This coffee loses about 20% of the original weight in the oven, and the beans get bigger. They expanded like popcorn. They feel oily now. And to smell this sample, we don't put the nose in the tray this time. We have to grind coffee first. So we have 3 samples of ground coffee in our cups, and we add on top hot water. This is what the experts call breaking the cup. And by the way, when you make coffee at home, never use boiling water. Boiling water over extracts coffee, and you get a bitter taste. So it's very hot, but not oily. Then with a spoon, we take the coffee cup very close to the nose. With the spoon, we move the foam and smell at the same time. You're going to catch the first vapor that comes out, and it's It's got to be a strong coffee aroma. It really smells like fruits or vinegar while something went wrong in the process. Okay, so now we clean the spoon. And now we're ready to taste coffee. But, well, you see, this is too thick. So in the lab, you have to wait 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, the ground settles down. You clean the foam a little bit, and then you taste it. But this is like a cooking show. We don't have 10 minutes. So we just made some coffee in our French press. And let's pretend that 10 minutes later, after commercials, we're back. We take the spoon again, and before we taste coffee, we cool it off. And this is a good tip. When you buy coffee and you want to find out what kind of coffee you're drinking, just let it cool down. If flavor changes from hot to cold, it's not a good coffee. And now to taste it, we have this special technique. It's like wine tasting. Well, it's not polite. You see? Yes, so small amount of coffee, not that much, and then you just suck it in. Okay. Okay. Oh, that's one. No, actually, we have to do it like this. You inject air to the sample, so you make a spray all over your taste buds, and at the same time, that spray goes all the way back. You not only taste coffee, you smell it, and that's how you get a complete approach to the sample in the cup, which is good because we get to taste almost 120 cups of coffee every day. So we don't sleep at night, so we make a lot of money. No, this coffee you don't swallow, you spit it out. But we're going to skip to the part with you too, okay? And it takes 5 years to become a certified coffee cupper. But well, you did it in just 2 minutes, so you deserve a coffee mug. We've got here for you, and let's give them a hand.
He saw them eating the coffee cherries from the plant because they're very sweet. So he tried some, and he stayed awake the whole night. I know, yeah?
No!
What do you mean it's not true? I'm sorry, but I drink 5 cups of coffee every day, Nancy.
Of course not 5 cups a day. 1 to it. Tomorrow's drinks 10.
Okay,
Oh, I don't believe this.
Sorry about that. That's too much caffeine. Anyway, the most important thing is that coffee started to spread all over the world, as you're going to see over here.
During Muslim expansion between the 8th and the 15th centuries, coffee followed the establishment of the Islamic world.
Durante la expansión musulmana, es decir, entre los siglos 8 y 15, el café se extendió junto con la cultura islámica.
Coffee became an important drink in Turkey, in the Balkan states, and later in Spain.
El café se convirtió en una bebida importante en Turquía, en los estados balcánicos y más tarde en España.
And although Arabs prohibited the exportation of coffee beans, Muslim pilgrims took the coffee seeds to the coast of India. Here, the first coffee trees were planted as early as the 16th century.
A pesar de que los árabes prohibían la exportación del grano, peregrinos musulmanes llevaron semillas de café hasta las costas de la India. Aquí se plantaron los primeros árboles a finales del siglo XVI.
And then, coffee was first traded in Venice in 1615.
Y luego, el café se comercializó en Venecia en 1615.
Io vendo il migliore caffè. Io vendo il mejor caffè del mundo. I'm selling the best coffee in the whole world. Yes, but many fanatics don't want me to sell this exquisite beverage, saying this is the devil's poison. Why? They are asking the Pope his opinion. The Pope. But I need to know what is the Pope gonna say about coffee.
liked it, coffee flourished as a drink. And with it, the first coffee houses appeared on Piazza San Marcos in Venice.
Gracias a que al Papa le gustó el café, la bebida floreció en Italia y aparecieron los cafetines de la Plaza San Marcos.
And I myself, as messenger of the city of Amsterdam, I traveled all over Europe to bring this plant to your majesties, the king and the queen of France. Oh no, I'm sorry. Do you speak English?
No, come ça.
Well, I traveled all over Europe to bring you this plant of café.
Ma chérie, ça c'est le café.
Yes,
But it's so cute.
Drink it.
Oh, drink it.
No, we have to process it first.
Process it?
Oh. Now, you know what? I'm not sure about this. I've never heard about this plant.
Café?
I want to show this plant to the doctor.
The doctor?
I would like to know this doctor said.
No, ma chérie.
It could be a poison.
Ma chérie, c'est pas nécessaire.
My queen!
You see, doctors here, doctors there. The doctors, they want to betray me. They say coffee is a medicine. A medicine, but they just don't let me sell it freely. But I've got this idea. I'm going to send a little plant of coffee to the island of Martinique in the Caribbean with Monsieur de Cure.
We are very sorry, Your Majesty, but coffee is just terrible. Your Majesty, it stains your teeth.
Keeps you away.
Makes you dizzy. You Europeans, like coffee should not be imported to France.
Oh, please, Your Majesty, Cordiux, díganos, ¿qué le parece toi?
Oh, déjame, por favor. C'est magnifique. It's excellent. You French doctors, you withdraw from your opinion, or if not, caput.
Coffee is great.
Coffee is very good.
See, it fragments improves your health, cures your fatigue, and calms the worries of you.
Actually, we're going to prepare more coffee, so you see how good. Can you?
He obtained one baby coffee plant from the Jardin des Plantes in Paris.
Con muchas dificultades, Becquerel consiguió una plantita de café del Jardin des Plantes en París.
And hiding it in a ship, he began a sea adventure traveling to the Caribbean.
Y escondiéndola en un barco, empezó una aventura marítima viajando hacia el Caribe. Cruzar el Atlántico es un viaje lleno de peligros.
And after suffering a terrible tempest,
Y después de sufrir una tremenda tempestad,
and the attack of the Dutch
y este de un pirata holandés.
finally, century, just before the independence.
Así es, el café llegó a Costa Rica a finales del siglo XVIII, en vísperas de la independencia.
And years later, by initiative of the municipality, plants and lands were distributed freely among the people, but of course, only if they were willing to spend their time in producing coffee.
Y más tarde, por iniciativa municipal, se distribuyeron gratuitamente plantas y tierra, solo si los pobladores estaban dispuestos a producir este nuevo cultivo.
Yes, this is the way the activity started to flourish, and it increased with the first exportations.
Así la...
¿Ya?
Okay, now, yes.
Estamos en la sala de la casa de don Luis y doña Ana. Y es que un vecino muy rico que tiene fiesta muy grande ya tiene fireworks, fuegos artificiales. Y podemos ver todo aquí de la ventana de la casa, afuera del jardín de la casa. Increíble. Un montón. Ya hace 20 minutos de fuegos artificiales. Muy costoso. Y muy ruidoso también. ¿Ya?
Oh, stop it.
Oh, qué bonito, ¿eh? Muy grandes. De oro, azul, blanco, rojo. Es una celebración, creo, de que ganaron Costa Rica contra México ayer. Y también es el Día de los Padres. Ay, muy lindo. Y la señora me dijo que es del patio de la casa, no está en un parque. Necesitan licencia especial para hacerlo, pero en casa.
Okay.
Me presenten mis padres, Irene y Manuel.
Muy bien. ¿Y cómo es el apellido?
Munger.
¿Qué?
Would you give them a hug goodbye? Yes.
Hola, Cristina. Oh, con la falda nueva, ¿eh?
Buen día.
Buen día.
Gracias.
¿Cómo se dice?
Minor.
Minor.
Okay, go.
Presento a mi familia, mi mamá, Araceli, y Minor, nuestro hijo, hermano.
Es la hora de regresar.
Would you give them a hug?
Buenos días. Muy buenos días.
Gracias. Gracias.
Sí, sí.
Mis hijas.
Would someone introduce, please?
Este es nuestra mamá, se llama Ana.
And would you give her a hug? Muy
No es
bien.
porque no queremos.
Con mucho gusto. Muchas gracias.
Okay, started the video. Would someone introduce Mama?
Marie.
Mi familia, Mami. Would you give her a hug? For the... Gracias. Hola, Elgin.
Hola. This is something profound right now. Morning. A little early.
It's very early. Their alarm, they got up at 4:30 and they're here 15 minutes later. Muy bien. ¿El líder presente?
Es mi hermano Juan José.
Sí, gracias.
Julia. Yes.
Ah. Por vida. Por vida, Costa Rica. Sí.
Did I lose it already? Did it go underneath?
Can you say this is my, introduce their names?
Este es Marisa.
Gracias. Can you give them a hug? Gracias. Bien. Buenos días. Buenos días, Dan Carlos.
Hola.
Hola, tío.
¿Cómo está?
Muy bien. ¿Y tú?
Pura vida.
Hola, Katie.
Pura vida.
Hola, Beth. ¿Cómo estás?
Muy bien.
Hola.
Let's go around.
¿No quiere ir?
Gracias.
¿Qué es aquí con su mamá? ¿Qué es aquí?
La maleta yo creo que ya está en Frank.
Buenos días.
Buenos días.
Una foto, en vuelta.
Flor Camacho y es nuestra mamá en Costa Rica.
Good. And can you hug her goodbye? Yes. Muy bien. Gracias.
Last time I was writing in my journal, I was like, pillows on the side and I was putting it back up and like, what is that? I said, I didn't do that.
Where's
Where's
Danny?
Yesterday.
Where? There they are hiding.
Me too. Everyone was sick yesterday. Quattro, yeah? Danny, I couldn't handle it. Oh, yeah?
Sarah.
I slept like the most.
Sarah.
We didn't get up until 9 o'clock. And then we got up, or we went to bed. I was tired.
Do you sing this early in the morning, Chris?
Huh?
Do you sing this early in the morning?
It's going to take us about 15-20 minutes to get to the international airport. Hope you're all ready. Hope you have your passport and that you have your departure tax handy. Oh, they're right there.
Somebody answer the phone!
What am I going to do? They answer the phone for us?
Since when you know that is the Es el mejor regalo que hay, ¿verdad?
Senora, last name
For he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, which nobody can deny.
Gracias. Esto iba al principio, pero hasta ahora lo tomamos.
Gracias.
Okay, in the and then we went to our state capital, Madison, for a bathroom trip, and there was a sign that said Broom Street, like the broom that you supposed to floor, and she goes, Broom!
I got my buddy. Sarah just went to the bathroom soccer.
Wave. Say hola. Oh, thank you.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is the final intermediate boarding call for Continental Express, Flight 4188, Cleveland. You are on this